From the legendary Honda Civic, a line of cars that some people say started it all, to the Mazda Miata that still runs the roads today, this Hot Wheels car culture, modern classic set for 2023 captures the essence of these iconic street cars like no other. Welcome back to Modern Diecast. Today we're going to be taking a look at this highly anticipated, very sought after Hot Wheels set. It features 5 incredible pocket rockets in beautiful 1/64 scale glory. Let's go ahead and get a closer look at each one of these castings. Kicking off the set is this Honda Civic EG. I will say this is probably going to be the must-have from the set for most people. And with livery and execution like this, they are definitely backing that up. So this little car was a game changer when it first came out. It was lightweight, had a relatively powerful engine, pretty good handling, quickly became popular with racers and tuners, and is still popular with both today. Now, I know that a lot of people's introduction to the Civic was probably from the original Fast and the Furious film, and while this isn't a heist car, I have to imagine that fans of that film are probably going to be happy to see this because it's a Civic. Civics are generally popular, and it's got this cool Spoon Sports livery here, so what's not to like, right? I have to say, when I first saw pictures of this, I wasn't really crazy about it, but now that I have it in hand and I've seen it in person, the livery definitely works. This is a very clean, detailed for what it is casting, and this livery just kind of makes it pop. I like the two-tone look, and I'm typically not even a fan of these wheels, although I kind of feel like they're almost synonymous with the Civics now, but they definitely work with the overall execution of the car as well. Has some nice details on the headlights up here. Interior, not much to say there. Nice. We have the sunroof, which is pretty typical for this casting, and really good detail on the back. Taillights definitely pop against that yellow paint. I like it. Overall, just a really nice pickup. Up next, we have the 98 Toyota Altezza, known in the States as the Lexus IS series. I have driven one of the Lexus versions of this car, and man, is it wicked. I absolutely love that car. Very clean version here. We got this metal flake silver paint. Nice details up front. Pretty good details on the interior, actually. Right-hand drive because it is the Toyota. Iconic Altezza taillights. Excellent wheel choice. Not a whole lot else to say about it. I think this might be the sleeper for the set. This car kind of has its own fan base anyway, but the chase for this set is actually going to be a black version of this car. Actually, this is probably going to be the first chase that I've even been interested in myself in quite some time. If you find that, it'll be numbered 0 out of 5, so definitely something to keep an eye out for. Switching gears for just a minute, let's check out the Fiat 131 Abarth. I say switching gears because most of these other cars are well known for being iconic street cars, but this one, if you're like me, I didn't know a whole lot about it until I started researching for this video, and I found that this was actually a rally legend in its own time, a very successful rally racer, which is interesting because we just recently did the video on the Rally Legends diorama set, so pretty cool. I have a newfound respect for this car. Unfortunately, I do think it is the low point of the set, not really because of the car itself, although, perhaps they could have made a better selection, but really it's the execution that gets me. Newfound respect for the car, definitely don't like the execution. Front end looks pretty good here. I do like the red paint. Nice details around the windows and even the interior, really. The rear end looks good. They did a good job of helping the taillights not blend in with the red paint. Actually, a lot of detail back here. So all that looks pretty good. The casting itself, I would say, looks good, but there's a few problems I have. Number one, and it's probably a minor issue, I feel like these wheels are just a little bit overused on the smaller cars. I do like the color contrast here, but just this little 4-spoke wheel, I just see it so much on the Skylines and some other cars like that I feel like they should just do something a little bit different. Now, I could probably overlook that, but what really gets me are these fender flares. The way they've done it here, it just kind of looks cheap, pieced together with the different shading here. It just looks out of place to me. I think they would have been a lot better served if they had just went with like a satin black or something here instead of trying to match the color, because it just is a little bit off-putting to me. Let me know what you think in the comments. Does that bother you? Is this a casting that you're interested in at all anyway? Number 4 in the set, the Volkswagen Corrado VR6. Basically, this is just a really hopped up Golf. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. This car looks amazing. Check out this paint. I mean, it kind of speaks for itself. I absolutely love this car. Could be my favorite of the set. I'm not sure. When I first saw this set, I kind of looked at it and I was like, it's interesting that the Civic is really the only like tunerish type vehicle they have. Everything else is pretty stock. Now, don't get me wrong, they're all performers in their own right, but this is kind of like the sleeper that pulls up beside you in the middle of the night at the red light and just absolutely smokes you. Really good details on the taillights here. Nice wheel choice. Overall, just, I can't say enough good about this car. Obviously, there's not a lot going on with it as far as tampos, but it doesn't need it. Just look at the paint. Just look at it. It's awesome. Absolutely love this car. Love the Golf. You know, it kind of has its own cult following anyway. I realize this is technically a different car, but absolutely love it. Would love to drive one of these in real life. Fantastic pick for this set. And last but definitely not least, we have the 91 Mazda MX-5 Miata. If you've been watching my channel for any amount of time, you know that I'm a huge Miata fan. I absolutely love these cars, so I was super stoked to get this in a premium. Really love this paint here. I'll say there's probably an overarching theme for all the cars in this set except for the Fiat, unfortunately, that the paint is just excellent. Now, they're kind of going with a more stock look here, so I'm going to say there's a couple things I'm going to point out with this car that I don't like. Please don't take that as me saying that I don't like the car overall, because I do absolutely love it. There's just a few unfortunate things with the way they've tried to do it here. I love this dark green paint. Looks great. The wheels, I see what they were trying to do here. They're trying to go with this style wheel here, but I'm just kind of a sucker for a Miata with these big 5-spokes, and I absolutely would have loved to have seen these on here. But, you know, I get what they were trying to do, and I can appreciate it. Let's go ahead and take a look here up front. We have pretty good details here. Really nice details on the back. Absolutely love the way they do these taillights on these cars. Love the interior color in contrast with the green especially, but the unfortunate thing about it being a roadster and having this really light interior is it shows the lack of detail on the interior, and I absolutely hate that because it kind of draws away from the rest of the car. Now, if you've got it sitting on a shelf, you're not looking at it real close, you'll never notice. And, you know, at the end of the day, it is still a Hot Wheels. This is basically just a main line with a metal base and real riders on it. But it's unfortunate, especially when you see some of the other brands, of course, that you're going to pay a little bit more of a premium for. But just quite a bit more detail on the interior. And I really would like to see that on this. Now, like I said, overall, absolutely love the car. Happy to have it. Just a few minor nitpicks that, you know, if you haven't seen it yet, you might notice as well. So overall, I think this set is a must-have for anybody who's a fan of pocket rockets, and the JDM enthusiast will probably be pretty happy with it as well. For some of us, it might be a way to relive our glory days, but for a lot of you out there, this might be your first dive into some of these modern classics. Either way, this is a great set of cars, and I've really enjoyed going over them. Hopefully, you've enjoyed looking at them too. If you have, consider hitting that subscribe button. Help us reach our goal of 1,000 subscribers. And if you did like this set, be sure to check out this other video that YouTube thinks you'll enjoy up here in the corner.